guys. Now, I know what you're thinking. What on earth are you doing outside? Get back inside your house now, you crazy woman. It's okay. I may be out today, but I'm out for the walk that I would normally do with the dog, because I'm planning on showing you guys some foraging. The plan is that I'll do several videos that you guys can watch, keep us all connected. We can all perhaps have a go at some of the things that I show you. I actually have the dog with me today because filming and walking the dog will probably be an absolute nightmare because she pulls me around all over the place. Any of you who have heard about Cookie from me knows exactly that. It is a bit windy out today. I have picked the windiest day ever to start filming outside. That was intelligent, so there will probably be a little bit of audio noise that might make it quite hard to hear. Let's see if I can turn the volume up when I put the video together at home. So let's go. Look at how pretty this garden is. Now, any of you anywhere in this country that's ever seen this plant before, you know that it stinks. But I have recently found out that it is edible. It's called Alexander's, and the sticks are meant to be a bit like celery. I mean, I hate celery, so I'm not picking that today. I will turn my nose up to it until I am desperate. I'm going to be honest with you. You should also make sure that you know what you're looking at, because this can be mistaken for hemlock. I think it's the leaves that look really similar. Best to keep an eye on what the flowers look like. That's usually the best way to identify something. Hemlock is of course poisonous, so don't eat that. So we're coming up to an area that has recently sort of had a landslide on it. It's covered up an awful lot of what used to grow here. But many of you people from Batlaby will recognise this one down here because we have it absolutely everywhere. That is the wild garlic, and I'm pretty sure it's commonly known that we can eat this. Again, like the Alexanders though, keep an eye out for the flowers. These haven't flowered yet, but that will be your indicator for whether or not it is wild garlic or if it is in fact lily of the valley. Lily of the valley, again, completely poisonous. Please don't eat it. This can be used in all recipes that need garlic of any kind really. You can make really good pesto out of it. I was here the other day actually and have already dug up a plant for me to take home. I put it in my garden so that I wouldn't have to go out too often for some garlic. It's important to note that if you are out foraging and digging up plants to take home to your garden, don't take all of it from one area. Now we know that wild garlic is a little bit prolific and it will grow like wildfire, so it might not be too bad if you take a couple. It will recuperate from that, but leave enough behind for nature to use for itself. If you're just out picking the leaves, you can take those home and you can use them straight away, or you can actually freeze them as well, and you can pickle it. Now I traditionally pickle all of my garlic cloves anyway. I tend to make about 1.5 litres of pickled garlic and it lasts us absolutely forever. Saves you wasting any scraggly bits that get a bit old and start sprouting in your kitchen. But white wine vinegar, chop it up, stick it in that, preserve it for about a month and it'll be ready to use. You should never preserve it in oil of any kind. I mean, you can risk it if you want, but you can cause, I think it's botulin from preserving it in oil, so I would avoid that anyway, just in case. The risks are very low, but not worth it in my opinion. Now this is what I've come out for today. It's the nettles. Now, you've all seen our bottles of nettle wine. A lot of you hate it. I've never actually eaten nettles before, but they are completely edible. They've got a lot of uses actually. They're full of vitamins and good stuff. They're similar to spinach and broccoli and stuff like that, I've heard, so dark leafy greens. So probably therefore filled with iron, which is really useful if you're vegetarian. I'm going to be picking the top 4 leaves off of the plants. As they're the youngest, they tend to be the tastiest, apparently. I will tell you whether or not they're tasty once I've actually cooked it. Obviously they are stingy, we all know this, so I am wearing marigolds to keep my fingers safe from them. Once you cook them down though, the sting does disappear, so it won't sting your mouth if you're trying to eat it. Now I will champion a nettle any day. People dig them up thinking they're just weeds, but actually they are really, really useful to all kinds of different insects. The ones I've just been picking have been covered with aphids. I'll shake those off before I cook them because I'm certainly not going to eat a bunch of aphids. But obviously that makes good food for ladybirds, and certain species of butterfly will only lay their eggs on nettle plants. But we can also use it quite easily at home for things other than cooking. So traditionally it used to be used to create a green dye to dye natural fabrics. If you try and do it on a synthetic, that won't work. But a piece of cotton, if we boil down the leaves and create the green coloured water, you can dye your fabric in that. I would imagine you would probably have to add a little bit of salt to help the colour stay. But you can also boil it down into a mulch and pour it onto your pots in your garden or your soil, and it will rejuvenate the soil for you. So there's a lot of good nutrients in the nettle leaves that will help your pots thrive. Blowing in the wind, 1 bag of nettles. I'm not taking too many, just in case we turn out to hate them. I'm planning on using them to make a risotto. If that turns out to be quite tasty, then I'll share the recipe with you as well. Again, only ever take what you need, no more than that. One of the other awesome things about nettles is that they are so abundant everywhere you go. There are plenty of them. So although I'm telling you to take what you need, at the same time, if you really like the flavour, there's no shortage of it. So you can keep your freezer well stocked with nettles should you wish, or keep picking them fresh on your daily exercise walk. Speaking of which, if you take your dog out with you for anything like this, and they're well behaved, unlike mine, they're actually quite useful in foraging because they can smell better than we can, obviously. If you point towards a plant that you're thinking of picking, your dog can come over and have a sniff. If they're really interested in that plant, it probably means something else has done their business on it. So if you are worried about other animals peeing on your plants, then your dog can sniff that out for you. If they're not interested in the plant whatsoever and they walk away, it's probably clean. Having said that, of course, always wash the plants you take home. Yeah, good. Nice little bramble patch here. Not much use to us right now. Fruits obviously late summer, autumn. That'd be quite useful if we're all still in lockdown by that point. Dandelions, of course, we can eat those too. I would say just eat the flowers. Apparently the leaves are incredibly bitter. But again, you can make sort of teas. You can make a jam, I've heard, as well. Probably quite floral. Something I might have to try later on. Pretty. Not sure what this one is. Something I'll have to look up, I think. Looks like snow. Now this is a good one. This is borage. Blue star flower. Very, very pretty. A bit early for it to be in flower, I think. But again, edible. At least I know the flowers are. You can stick them in salads. I think they're meant to have a bit of a peppery taste to them. Not sure about the leaves. They look a bit unappetizing, but I'll look into that and see if they actually are. Very nice. So thanks for coming with me on my foraging walk today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it or learned something. Please do use this to teach other people something about nature today. You could use it to take kids out and teach them a little bit about plants and animals and things. You never know. Obviously, if you are going to go out and do this sort of thing, avoid people as much as you possibly can. I didn't really see anyone today. I got up really early to do this, so there was probably about one person walking their dog, and I stayed well away from them. Wash your hands when you get home. Be intelligent. And of course, the whole point of me doing this is so that we can all stay connected with each other, give something new a go. If you go out and do this, share your results. If you already know recipes for any of the things I've picked today or seen today, share them with each other. Hopefully we can all enjoy our isolation a little bit better. Who knows? It won't last forever. We'll be fine. Stay safe, guys. See you soon, hopefully.